I welcome all the students to the video lecture on characteristics of Indian economy. In my earlier two lectures, I explained four different characteristics of Indian economy. In the very first lecture on the topic characteristics of Indian economy, I explained two characteristics. The first one is about lower per capita income of India, and the second characteristics is related with the occupational pattern of the Indian economy. In the second lecture on the topic characteristics of Indian economy, I mentioned the third characteristics, which is about increasing pressure of the population on our economy, and fourth characteristic is about the increasing rate of capital formation. So these are the four characteristics which we discussed in our earlier lectures. Now in this particular lecture, I am going to explain two more characteristics of Indian economy, that is increasing income and wealth inequality in India, and the next one is the status of human development in India. So let us try to discuss these two important characteristics which focus our attention on income inequality and the status of human development. This is the first characteristics, low per capita income. Second one, occupational pattern. Third one, heavy population pressure. Fourth one, increasing rate of capital formation. Up to these four characteristics we discussed in our earlier two lectures. Now I am going to discuss in this particular lecture the fifth characteristic. It is about inequality of income and wealth. As we know, the inequality in our country, the inequality in India is of multiple dimensions. Multiple dimensions in the sense social inequality, it means gender inequality is there, religious inequality exists, caste-based inequality exists, and apart from these aspects, linguistic inequality on the basis of the languages, then regional inequalities. So these different types of inequalities does exist in our country. Means the concept of inequality in India is having multiple dimensions. Therefore, I used the word the inequality in India is having the multiple dimensions. Multiple dimensional inequality exists in India. Here in our characteristic, we are talking about inequality of income and wealth. Income and wealth inequality is the economic aspect of inequality. We are talking about economic inequality here. But in India, the social aspects affect over the economic aspects of a person or of an individual. For example, consider gender inequality, inequality in between men and women. Comparatively, we can see economically in India, men are stronger or men are better than women, because for many years our society has not permitted the women to perform the economic activities for earning. So therefore, because of this social obligations, the social obligations which have laid down by our Indian society, it affected the economic well-being it affected on the economic well-being of the women. So therefore, economically if we compare, men are superior economically than women in Indian society. Means the economic well-being or the economic inequality, it depends upon the social aspect. So therefore, the inequality of income and wealth in our country is having multiple dimensions. In the same way, we can consider the case of caste-based inequality. The caste social factor will affect over the economic factor or economic inequality of the individual. So here in this particular point, we are talking about the economic inequality, that is inequality of income and wealth. While discussing this particular issue, initially I explained some background. Initially I tried to give an explanation of the base of inequality in our country. Now we will see what are the facts which are related with income and wealth inequality. The half of the wealth of our country is controlled by few millionaires. The half of the ownership of the resources is possessed by the few millionaires. Few millionaires means the millionaires to whom we can count on our fingers. So those millionaires are controlling 54% of our country's total wealth. So imagine what is the extent of inequality in our country. Only 1% of richest people, they own 53% of our country's wealth, and remaining 50% of the wealth is distributed among 99% of the people. The third fact which reveals that the 5% of the richest people own 70% of our country's wealth, and remaining 30%, only 30% of the wealth distributed among 95% of the people. So these figures, it reveals the extent of inequality. Here we can see, on the basis of these figures, we can conclude, we can say that there exists an extreme inequality in our country. The last point is that top 10% of population, people having more than 75% of the country's wealth. It means the remaining 90% of the people, they share just 25% of the wealth of the country. So these figures indicates that in India there exists extreme inequality as far as the inequality of income and wealth is concerned. The capitalists are controlling. On the basis of these figures, we can conclude that the capitalists of our country are controlling the major part of our economy. The industrialists of our country are owning or possessing the maximum wealth of our country. So this explains this particular fact, shows the extent of inequality in our Indian economy. It is the alarming fact about the inequality of income and wealth. I am not talking about the social inequality over here. I just mentioned how social inequality will create or will make an impact on the economic inequality of the country. How social inequality is responsible for creating inequality, that will be a different topic of our discussion. I will not go deep into that matter. Just here it is essential to remember and to keep in mind the extreme inequality exists in our Indian economy. The next sixth important characteristic is about poor quality of human resources. Poor quality of human resources. It means what quality of resources, particularly human resources, we are having in our country. United Nations Development Program started calculating the Human Development Index since 1990. They initiated the program of calculating Human Development Index of various countries in order to measure the quality of human resources. What this Human Development Index is, first I will explain the concept and then I will come to the point what is the status of human development in India. First we will see what the concept is. Initially, this concept was propounded by Pakistani economist Mahbub ul Haq. Afterwards, the Indian economists like Amartya Sen and other economists made an addition into the concept of Human Development Index. And since from 1990, United Nations Development Program, they initiated calculating the Human Development Index of various countries of the world. In this Human Development Index, there are three important indicators. On the basis of these three indicators, UNDP calculates Human Development Index of the countries. The first important indicator is about education. They count the mean year of schooling or expected year of schoolings. It means how many years a person in a particular country attend the school or he pursues the education. That educational level of the country is measured with the help of two important factors, that is estimated year of schooling and mean year of schooling. On the basis of these two indicators, the UNDP calculates the educational standard or the educational level of the country. The second indicator is health. In the health, life expectancy of birth is calculated. Life expectancy at birth in a particular country is calculated while measuring this particular second indicator, health. And third indicator is about income. In order to measure the standard of living of a particular country, the per capita income of that country is considered as an indicator, one of the indicators for measuring Human Development Index. So with the help of these three indicators, educational level, health standard and income, that is standard of living, they combine these three indicators and calculate an average of these three indicators. That they will calculate the value of Human Development Index. The United Nations Development Program calculates the value of Human Development Index on the basis of these three indicators, and that concept is known as Human Development Index. The index which is calculated on the basis of these three indicators is known as Human Development Index. For the year 2019, this Human Development Index is calculated for 189 countries. And the India's rank is 129th among 189 countries. India comes under the category of medium human development countries. Here, after discussing the concept of Human Development Index, here I will focus how the India's Human Development Index is poor. Here in the characteristics I mentioned poor quality of human resources. How our human resources are poor in comparison to the human resources of the developed and other developing nations. Here in the table we can see the human development of India, the value of human development index of India is 0.64. Just now I mentioned it comes under the category of medium human developed countries. It is 0.64 and the rank of India is 129th as per the Human Development Index report of 2019. The India's rank is 129th. Take a look at the HDI value of Norway. It is 0.95, means highest rank, first rank is of Norway. The United States of America, the rank is 15th. Our neighbor country China, its rank is 85th. Even the Human Development Index of Sri Lanka and Bangladesh is higher than that of the Human Development Index of India. Why we say it is a poor quality of human resources? Poor quality because of the educational standards, poor quality because of the health standards, and poor quality because of low per capita income. We already studied in our very first characteristics. India's per capita income is very lower in comparison to the per capita income of developed nations. The United States of America, Switzerland, Germany, Japan, their per capita income is 20, 30, 40 times more than that of India's per capita income. So therefore we are having poor quality. Health. The life expectancy at birth in India is 69 years. And on the other hand, the life expectancy at birth in the developed country is more than 80 years. Educational standard we are talking about, the mean year of schoolings in India means how many years an Indian goes to the educational institutes. It is the expected, what is the average? Averagely, how many years a person from India attend the school education? The average is 6 years. At the other hand, this average is 12 years for the developed countries. So, in comparison to these countries, we are having poor quality of our human resources. So in this way, we can conclude, we can say, in comparison to the developed nations, in comparison to other developing nations, we are having poor quality of our human resources. Here, the another fact is that the Niger, last country in the rank, 189th, they are having their Human Development Index. The value of HDI, their value of HDI is 0.37. They comes under low human development country. It comes under low human development country. So comparatively, our rank is 129th. So even though in comparison to the developed nations, our quality of human resources is very low. So in this way, these are the two important characteristics which I mentioned, explained in this particular lecture. I will stop this lecture here, and in my next lecture I will explain some more characteristics of Indian economy. Thank you.